What's up, everybody? Once again, my name is Matt, and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. In the last episode, we acquired the Triforce and used it to vanquish Demise. Although we were successful and everything seemed like it was gonna end well, Ghirahim showed up at the last second and kidnapped Zelda and brought her back to the past where he plans to use her soul to revive Demise. In this episode, we can't let that happen, so we must chase after him and return to the past to not only save Zelda, but save the entire world. That's right, the fate of everything is currently resting on our shoulders, and we can't let anybody down. So here we are back in the past inside the Temple of Hylia, and it looks like Impa even failed to stop Ghirahim. Link, it's Ghirahim. He appeared out of thin air and got the drop on me. Don't worry about me. You must chase after him. He ran through the great doors at the front of the temple. You may yet catch him before it's too late. Hurry! Well, you guys heard Impa. Let's do this. We did not come this far to fail this late into the game. No way, Ghirahim. You're going down. Hear me, my hordes! The spell is nearly complete! The Demon King returns! Until then, you will keep that whelp from interfering with my ritual! I don't care if the whole lot of you get lodged on the end of his blade. You will buy me the time I need. Do not fear him. Fear my wrath if you fail me. Okay, so here we go, guys. Our main goal is to get to the bottom of this hill, but of course, since Ghirahim put up these walls, it's not like we can jump down there like we normally would. Oh no, instead, we have to run through horde after horde of enemies, so that's gonna be fun. You could fight them, but I really don't see a point because there's like several areas along this path where Ghirahim's just going to spawn a wall like that, and also spawn in some special enemies that we need to take care of before we can lower that wall and continue progressing down the hill. So when this happens, usually I just like go out all ham and attack anything around me, but you only need to like kill the enemies that Ghirahim spawns to lower the gate. That way you can continue on down the hill. I gotta say though, this entire segment kind of reminds me a little bit of Hyrule Warriors, even though you know, this game obviously came out a long time before Hyrule Warriors did. But it's still kind of funny just because there are so many enemies on screen right now. It's kind of a shame we don't have like the same power as Hyrule Warriors Link does, because if we did, we'd probably already be at the bottom of this hill given how strong Hyrule Warriors Link actually is. That being said though, it's kind of cool to be able to play like the Hyrule Warriors hack and slash style in Skyward Sword. Like, it's pretty fun to just mow down loads and loads of enemies. Now, if I could give you guys any advice for this section at all, it would just be simply this. Try your best to maintain full HP as much as you possibly can, because here's the thing. Once we get to the bottom of this hill, we're going to be thrown into a fight with Ghirahim. So obviously, the more HP you have, the better chance you have at surviving that fight. That fight itself really isn't that hard, but we'll talk more about it once we actually get to it. Instead, let's just do our best to get down this hill without taking that much damage. Now, if you do take damage, don't worry too much, because the enemies in this area tend to drop hearts a lot, like way more frequently than anywhere else in the entire game. So yeah, the game itself tries to make sure you're pretty close to full HP by the time you get to the bottom here. Anyways, I do want to talk about the enemy that Ghirahim spawned for this specific wall. So it's a blue Bokoblin. Now, right off the bat, you might not think that's interesting, but this Bokoblin acts very differently. So, yeah, he charges at you, and then you have the chance to parry him, and when you do it correctly, you'll be able to counterattack him, and that's pretty much how you want to defeat them. Thing is, I don't remember seeing any other blue Bokoblins like that in the entire game, because, yeah, sure, we've seen them before, but they pretty much always act like the normal red Bokoblins, so it's kind of weird to see a new type of Bokoblin this late into the game, unless of course we have seen them before and I'm just like not remembering it, in which case I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments that I'm wrong and stupid and I should remember every single enemy that I ever seen every single video game. But I mean, totally feel free to tell me if those guys appeared anywhere else, because honestly I don't think they do. Alright, so now that those Stalfos are gone, we should be pretty much at the end here. Like, I think all we have to do is run to the very bottom, and then we'll be able to challenge Ghirahim, which is good because we're at full HP, and I'm pretty sure we can just run past most of these guys. Yeah, make sure you run past the archers because they will hit you otherwise. But guess what, guys? We made it to the bottom. And there he is. But of course, yeah, he's gonna summon like a little wall surrounding himself, so there's still one more wave that we need to get through. Thankfully, it's just a bunch of normal red Bokoblins, so really not all that hard. Honestly, the easiest way to deal with these guys is run in, do a spin attack, run out, wait for them to group up, and rinse and repeat this process over and over again until you've defeated them all. They're really not the smartest group of enemies, so they go down fairly quickly. And we're at full HP, perfect! You're far too quick, boy. I realize a simple child like you knows nothing of magic, but spells like this take time and a steady hand. Can't you wait quietly like a good boy? You petulant brat! You've pushed me too far! I have waited my whole existence for this! This is my moment! You know what? Fine! If you're so intent on hurrying to your grave, I'll be happy to show you the way. This time, there will be no heroic escape. I was a fool to toy with you and let you walk away with your life before, but I won't make that mistake again. That, I promise. If only I'd put you in your place from the very beginning. Show a human a little mercy, and next thing you know, he thinks himself your equal. Given my station, I had to maintain some semblance of dignity, so I let you run with your life, twice even. Such a guilty pleasure. But instead of scurrying away like any creature with a basic instinct to survive, you just kept coming back again and again and again. I've let a mere boy make a fool of me for the last time. You stand before a demon, or should I say, a weapon without mercy. For you, boy, I've prepared a most appropriate and humiliating death. I even have a pet name for it. I call it the Endless Plunge. First, I'll take my time bludgeoning you, and when I grow bored of it, I will drive you to the edge and deliver a last strike to send you falling to your doom. I'll delight in casting your body into this pit and snuffing out the flame of your life. Your broken body will serve as fine sustenance for the Demon King. Alright, so here is our third fight versus Ghirahim, and wow, that was a great way to start things off. This is honestly the easiest Ghirahim fight in the entire game. So all you want to do for this first phase is just knock him back with your sword and try and push him towards the edge. When he's at the edge, yeah, just hit him again to knock him over, and then you'll get the opportunity to perform a fatal blow. So that's really all there is to it. Just do that a couple of times, and we'll move on to the next phase. Now, Ghirahim does telegraph his attacks, so you can parry them with your shield or just like backflip, sidestep out of the way in order to avoid his attacks. Or you could just, you know, tank all the damage like I'm doing because I'm not playing very well at all right now. But eventually, once you get him close enough to the edge, he will do this where like he holds out his hands. You just want to make sure you perform the correct slash to continue pushing him back and eventually over the edge so that you can perform another fatal blow. So that's 2 down. I'm pretty sure we only need to do 1 more fatal blow, and then we can move on to phase 2. I want to play this one a little bit cautiously. Haha! Didn't get me that time, and ooh, that was a little bit closer. Alright, so, assuming I don't mess this up, this should be the last fatal blow that we need to do. So, huzzah! That's right, it's not over just yet. So now, Ghirahim brought out his cutlass and he wants to just like do normal battle with us. This is also very, very easy. Just parry all of his attacks and stab the center diamond like right in his chest. That's pretty much his weak point this time around. So you do need to make sure you stab, otherwise you'll probably have a pretty hard time hitting that. And that can be kind of an issue on its own because I know at least for me, stabbing doesn't always work, but I am having a good run with it right now, so I'm glad that my controls are working properly. Also, yeah, Ghirahim has a Skyward Strike style attack. Makes you kind of wonder about him, doesn't it? Like, you'll see pretty much why that is after we finish up this fight, but I think it's a really cool touch, and I like how the game sort of shows that off and you're like, wait, what? How is that even possible? And then you sort of find out why after the fight and you're like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense now. It's really stinking cool. Alright, we're doing pretty good thus far. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we're almost done with this battle. That was a little bit too early on that block. You know, one really cool thing about this fight is that as long as you have your shield up, you will negate like any damage. So even though I tend to like block his slashes a little bit too early, you'll notice that haven't really lost any HP, and that's just because, you know, my shield has been tanking all the damage, and hey, we did it! You wretched brat! Okay, so now we're on to phase 3. This one is pretty interesting. What you want to do is approach him and then start whittling away at his sword. So you'll notice that the middle of his sword sort of had that orangey center. You want to keep attacking that until eventually you cut the sword in half, and when you do that, you'll have the opportunity to attack him. Now, yeah, he does sort of, you know, change positions or move his sword around, so it does make it kind of harder to reach the weak point, but when you do it right, that's what it looks like, and that's how you deal your damage. If you mess up, don't worry. What you want to do is immediately do a backflip like that, and he will not be able to hit you no matter what. So it is pretty easy to avoid taking any damage in this phase as well, but I don't think your shield will be able to absorb the attacks from that larger sword just because it is so much harder. Also, yeah, he does repair the sword after like any failed attempt, so you really only have one shot, and if you mess up, you gotta wait until you get like another attack in to really start whittling away at his sword. And ooh, that was perfect. There we go. This is preposterous. Driven to my knees by a simple child of man? Laughable. No matter how many times we clash, I can't prevail. You think I can't defeat you? You think I can't win? Boy, what are you? Ah, but never mind that. Victory is still mine to savor. While we fought, the ritual I started continued. At last, it's complete! The Demon King shall devour the soul of the goddess and resurrect in his full glory! Don't you see? It's all over! You and your kind have lost! This world and everything in it now belongs to darkness! They belong to my master! Welcome back to us, Master. So, you are the chosen knight of the goddess. Intriguing. The goddess lowered herself to a mortal existence to keep me imprisoned. How pathetic. This bag of flesh pales in comparison to the magnificence of her previous form. Don't worry, Link. Groose has got this. Link, I caught her. She's okay. So you and that other human would stand before obliteration to aid the goddess, would you? How curious! The humans I've known were weak things, hardly more than insects, shivering under rocks and ready to flee at a mere glimpse of me. When last I walked this world, they did little more than scream and cling to their goddess, mewling and praying, counting on her to protect them. How amusing to think those cowards begot someone like you. You grow more fascinating by the second, human. I never imagined I'd meet one of your kind who wished to stand against me in battle. Very well then, I shall prepare a place for us where we will not be bothered by distractions. If you still have the courage to face me, seek me there. Link, it's all on you! Oh, and listen up! Granny had some info for you! The old girl says it'll take time for that grease wad to absorb Zelda's soul completely! If you can take him down before her soul gets all sucked up into that thing, you might still have a chance! I know you can do it. So yeah, you gotta do this! You're all Zelda's got! You've gotta make this happen! If you fear for your life, do not follow me. You can spend what little time your world has left cowering and crying, as befits your kind. But if you truly desire to raise your blade against the world I would build, come for me. I've waited eons to return. I can spare a few more moments to let you decide. It's up to you now, Link.